What's up, guys? Mason the Rock Henderson here, and this is The Walking Dead Season 7, Episode 15, Something They Need. So, a lot of interesting things happened, and honestly, it's getting me really, really excited to see all of this finally come to a head, probably in the next episode, and it's really exciting. So, couple things. Obviously, there are, I'm going to say, three main storylines in this one. You've got Rick and the group going to Oceanside. You've got Sasha being held by Negan as a prisoner, and then you've got Maggie and Gregory, which didn't really last as long. So I'm going to talk about that one first. So we see, first of all, Maggie helping one of the guys at the hilltop, just showing him how to farm and how to, build crops or something along those lines. So pretty much helping the people get better at surviving the apocalypse. So I like, obviously, bit of spoilers in case you didn't already know, because I was spoiled on this already. People who've read the comics have talked about how Maggie becomes the leader of Hilltop. I'm starting to see that more and more as this season goes along, that Gregory is slowly being pushed out the door because of his cowardice, and Maggie's stepping up because she wants to take the fight to Negan. And so this is the best way for her to do it, is to do it as a leader, because she's not really much of a fighter with a baby in her stomach. You can't really go and fight and have to be concerned about that baby as well. So I can see already how the leader part of her is like, that's how I'm gonna help bring this fight to Negan. That's how I'm gonna do this. So that part of it was pretty interesting. But we also see Gregory also being a coward again. Maggie is trying to dig this tree up, and he just has this moment where it's like, I have the knife, and there she is, completely defenseless, and I'm just like, please try, because I'm sure Maggie would see it coming from a mile away. But he decides not to, and then some walkers show up, and he's like, I got this, and Maggie's like, okay, are you sure? He's like, no, I got this. I've killed several of these things before. I wouldn't be here if I didn't. And then he gets up and gets close to it, and he's just like, ah. So Maggie kills it. But then here comes another one, tackles him to the ground. Maggie has to come and kill that one as well. And then some people are walking by from Hilltop, and they're looking over. She's like, it was his first one. He's learning. He's like, they said that's not what he told us. So they're starting to see that he's not the best person to be in charge. And I think people were already seeing that, but now it's just like, okay, now he's lying to us. Now it's time to go. And I think he realizes that too, because he calls in one of his servants and says, pack your bags, we're going on a trip. It's going to be for a few days. So I think he's going to head to the Savior's place and probably stay there, or, well, wherever Simon told him to go. So I assume he's going to go see Simon in the next episode, and Simon's probably going to kill him because he realizes, yeah, you're not fit to be in charge. So that's pretty much where that one ends. The Sasha storyline was definitely the most interesting out of the other two, just because, one, Negan's involved. Anytime he's involved, it's a lot of fun. But also, two, it's interesting to see kind of Sasha and Eugene in the two different mindsets in the same place that they're in. Both of them have been brought in for different reasons. But you see Eugene's mindset is, well, they're going to keep me safe. Sasha's mindset is, yeah, they're going to keep me safe, but I can't turn on my friends like that. So, I don't know, it's interesting to see sort of the contrast in it. And, like I said, how can you not love just watching Negan do what he does? I mean, the conversation he has with Sasha is brilliant. Just, you've got some beach ball-sized lady nuts on you. Beach ball-sized lady nuts. Where does he come up with this stuff? I swear he must have a book in his room, and he's just reading, like, let's see. Oh, beach ball-sized lady nuts. I'm going to use that next time I question a lady who happens to be brave as I am. I don't know. I love watching Negan work, and this was just another example of how awesome he is as a villain. So, that's a lot of fun. But in the end, we see Sasha kind of manipulates Eugene into thinking that she wants to die, and so she asks for some stuff to kill herself, quote quote. But she's asking for like glass or something sharp so she can. Well, Eugene gives her the poison pills that he made a few episodes back. So of course, for her, she's just like, what am I supposed to do with this? Like, she obviously wants to attack Negan and try to kill him when he's not expecting it, but how can you do that with a poison pill, So, yeah, obviously that's not quite what she was looking for, but that's kind of where it ends on that note. Still not sure quite what to expect with Sasha, whether or not she's going to die in the next episode. I feel like she probably is, but I don't know how she's going to go out. So, onto the other storyline, which is Rick and the group going to Oceanside. Tara leads them there, and so they get there, and she's threatening the leader, and of course the leader's just absolutely off her rockers, so she's just like, we're not going to help you. And so Rick and the group set off all these explosives to herd the people out, and also managed to keep a couple of the people there from getting to the arsenal. And so they're all in one spot, but then here comes the leader. She's managed to one-up Tara and get her gun, and so now she's threatening to shoot her if everybody doesn't listen. Well, here comes a herd of walkers that just came off a boat, and so Sydney, the granddaughter, I think, can't really remember how they're related or if they're related at all, but Sydney's just like, okay, you're crazy, knocks her out so they can take out this herd of walkers, which they do, but the lady in charge is still just like, no, we're not going to help you. We do not want to help you, so we're not going to. You can have our guns, but that's it. And so as they're taking the guns out, you see everybody's just looking at them with spite, but Sydney's just like, some of us want to help you, but we can't. It has to be all of us. It can't just be a few of us. So I'm wondering if this is going to be kind of one of those, if you ever saw Lord of the Rings Return of the King. If you haven't, what are you doing with your life? But if you ever, that scene at the end where Aragorn shows up with all of the ghost army, it's just kind of one of those things where it left on a note of, we didn't ever see what the answer was, whether or not they were going to help them. Well, then all of a sudden, here they are. They show up. The answer was yes. So I'm wondering if it's going to be one of those things where Sydney's like, we want to help, but it has to be all of us. So they don't come along to help. But then when the fighting does finally start, in comes Oceanside at the last second to help save the day. Which, they won't have guns, which is good because they're terrible at shooting. But they're pretty handy with a knife, so that's fine. But anyway, so that's kind of where that ends. And then, of course, there's the final scene, which I talked about this in the last episode. Rosita was running away and then found a dark, shadowy figure, which looked kind of like Daryl, but the way that they shot it was like, okay, it's clearly not Daryl. And it ended up being Dwight, which was kind of my second thought. But the question was, what was going to happen then? Is Dwight going to capture her and bring her back to Negan? I was kind of wondering if in all of this, Negan was trying to convince Sasha to join, if there was going to be a moment where all of a sudden he brings in Rosita and threatens to kill her if Sasha doesn't help, or something along those lines, because he realizes, oh, she wants to help her friends. Well, all of a sudden, when Rick and the friends get back home, Rosita's there. And so I'm like, wait, what? And then she's like, somebody's here. They go down to the prison cell, and sure enough, there's Dwight saying, I want to help. Now, is this a trick to try to kind of help Negan so he can, I don't know. I don't see a benefit in this for him. I don't see him benefiting from this. He would have benefited if he had brought Rosita back to Negan. If he had brought her back and then like, hey, I found her, here you go, that would have benefited him. But going back to Alexandria and saying, I want to help, without telling Negan anything, and obviously Rosita, she would have known if he had tried to say anything to Negan. It's not like he could have gone to Negan and said, hey, I know these two people are coming, so I don't know, it just seems like this truly is what Dwight wants to do. He wants to help them stop Negan. And we've seen before, he wants to stop Negan, but he's been so under his control and under his thumb, and I think part of it was also Sherry was kind of one of the reasons why he was having to help, because he was concerned for her safety. But now that Sherry's out of the picture, I kind of wonder if maybe that's his cue to say, okay, now I've got nothing to protect, so... And we even saw, I remember one of the scenes early on where Daryl was captured at the sanctuary. There was a moment where Dwight was like, what are you, stupid? I can't believe you're not taking the deal. And Daryl says, I understand why it's to protect somebody, and that's why I can't, because he he doesn't really have anybody to protect at this moment. There's nobody really to concern himself about. Whereas Dwight had Sherry to concern himself about. But now that she's out of the picture, there is a good possibility that Dwight actually wants to help stop Negan, because Negan's kind of a dick to him. So, don't know where that's going, but it does get me excited to see what's going to happen. And honestly, it was kind of the moment that stood out the most in all of this. Obviously, there are a lot of good moments. Negan with Sasha, the guy coming in. I knew as soon as this guy came in was like being very seductive and like rapey to Sasha. I knew in that moment that Negan was about to come in and kill him, and he does so in, I don't know, the most Negan-like of ways. He comes in and he's just like, rape is not allowed here. I'm the leader and I don't allow this. And just like, the guy's like, I'm sorry, Negan, I'm really sorry. Takes out a knife and stabs him through the neck. He's like, I do not accept your apology. I'm just like, really? You don't? Oh, I couldn't tell. I don't know, just the way that was all Negan's brilliant villain. So, all in all, a really good setup episode for the final one of this season, which ultimately I think is going to be a setup to kickstart the big war that will happen between Sanctuary and all of the other settlements. So, really looking forward to it. It's really exciting right now. Don't know. I don't have any predictions on who's going to die and who's going to make it out of this final episode. I do know one that is going to die, because unfortunately comic book people love to spoil everything for those of us who haven't read the comics, because I'm watching this show and I want to experience it for myself. I don't want to know, oh, it was like this in the comics, and oh, this is about to happen in the comics, so I wonder what they're going to do. Well, clearly they've kept certain things like the comics. I mean, the Glenn death was spoiled for me forever ago, because everybody in the comics, everybody who read the comics were like, oh, well, Negan kills Glenn with his bat, so it's probably going to be Glenn, it's probably going to be Glenn. Like, or they could do something different, but now if they do Glenn, I'm not going to be surprised, because that's how it was in the comics. So if you read the comics, please don't spoil anything for me. I want to experience it from the show's point of view. I don't want to compare it to something else. I don't want to talk about, oh, well, this happened in the comics. So I kind of have an idea of what's going to happen in the next episode, I assume, if they're going to keep it like the comics. But as far as Rick and his group, I get the feeling that Sasha's probably going to go out in a blaze of glory. She's probably going to go out taking as many of them with her as she can. As far as the rest of the group, though, I don't know. I'm assuming that, I want to say his name is Peter. I don't know why. It's Aaron's husband. Just the fact that they've been focusing on them a little bit more in these past couple episodes. Like the last episode, there was that scene where he was very upset with Aaron because of all the out and about stuff he's been doing, all of that. I don't know, just they've been focusing on their relationship a little bit more in the past couple episodes, which makes me think he or Aaron are probably going to die. And I'm assuming it's probably going to be the husband, because, I don't know, Aaron just feels like he has something a little bit more to contribute to the group. So, I don't know, maybe it will be Aaron, and then his husband will step up in his place and be like, okay, now it's time for me to kick some butt. I don't know. I'd hate to see Aaron go, though, just because he's proven himself over the past couple episodes. And honestly, the other thing that really makes me like his character is the fact that this show doesn't feel the need to, oh, guys, also, he's gay, and that's awesome, isn't it? They don't really feel the need to do that. And I've seen so many shows that feel the need to, like, if there's ever a gay relationship in a show, they have to really focus on it and talk about how amazing it is and how awesome this person is for being gay and all of that. Aaron's just a badass on his own. He doesn't need that part of his life to make him any more or less. That's just, it's a part of who he is, and that's all it is. So, I don't know, I hate to see Aaron go just because he's so awesome. And, I don't know, the scene with him and Rick in the boat just really confirmed for me that he can handle his own. So, I'm assuming, though, that his husband will be gone in the next episode. But, I don't know, we'll see. So, let me know what you guys think down in the comment section below. What did you like and dislike about this episode? Let me know, we can talk about and discuss all that good stuff. Leave a like and subscribe for future Walking Dead reviews, and I'll see you at the next one. Peace out.